What is going on, Lakers fam? This is your boy Jay Lake, bringing you Lakers all day, all the time. If you haven't yet, please go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button down under, and any comments will be much appreciated. So, Big Al is out of town today, but we still have Mario over here,
How you doing, Jay? Like,
and two for one. So, since Big Al's gone, we have two guests on today. We have Colby.
How's it going, everybody?
So, game one, big game one, Lakers versus Warriors. Conclusion of game six, we had a big win for the Lakers. We won by 40 points. Warriors, on the other hand, as well, they had a huge night from Steph Curry. He hit 50 points, so that has been pretty crazy so far. NBA asked for it, and fans are hyped. The biggest matchup of the year in round two, Lakers versus Warriors, game one matchup. What do you guys think?
oh, it's going to be crazy, Jay. Like, I know I said previously I kind of wanted the Kings to win that match against the Warriors because I thought that the experience from the Kings would be easier matchup for the Lakers to beat. But it's going to be Lakers Warriors. It's going to be tough. It's going to be exciting, right? And we can talk about the record with LeBron versus Steph. The record with Lakers and going to say Warriors and how they're going to do. But game one is here. It's the biggest matchup probably in the playoffs. It could go either way. It's going to be a tough series throughout. A lot of X factors. We'll talk about later today, and I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be a great matchup. This is like the last battle of California. You got all four of the California teams made it in, and only two remain. So on top of the LeBron versus Steph, or just the Warriors in general, it's going to be a great series for sure.
That's true. No, that's good. I mean, I think the Lakers put a statement out, Game Six, beat the Memphis Grizzlies by 40. I think it was a statement towards all of the West Coast teams that remain in the playoffs. But then Steph comes in with a Game 7 50-point game, a statement of his own, I would say, right?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought it up, Kobe, because all the California teams made it, but only two survived. Especially the Clips didn't make it. It's like on one hand, I kind of want to face the Clips in the playoffs, but on the other hand, it's like sucks for them. They didn't make it year after year. Every time, we want to match up against them, but we never get to. So a bit of a history. Lakers versus Warriors in the playoffs. We haven't played them last time since 1991. And out of the 8 playoffs games that we played them, we took 6 of them. In the regular season, we're 3-1 versus them. It seems like for the Lakers, especially the analysts, there's a lot of haters out there, right? So Sports Illustrated put out an article about ESPN polling 15 of their analysts, and 13 out of the 15 chose the Warriors to win. There was only 2 that chose the Lakers to win. One of them was Dave McMahon. So Dave is a pretty cool guy. For the other ones, some of the notable ones are like Bobby, Mark, Spears, Shelburne. Basically, all chose the Warriors to win 7 games. CBS also, they all chose the Warriors. Other analysts, I'm surprised, Skip and Shannon. Usually Skip is a LBJ hater, but both of them chose to go with the Lakers for the series. What do you guys think?
Hey, that's okay. This is follow script, right? I mean, everybody's gonna pick the Warriors. That means Vegas gonna win a lot of money when the Lakers win the series. But it's just why we watch the playoffs. Everyone's gonna doubt the Lakers. A lot of Laker haters out there. Honestly, it's easy to pick the defending champs, right, to win this series. I feel like that chose the easy way out. They're not really doing their jobs, their analytical work here. I feel like Lakers are better than that. I think they should have more votes to win this series, especially the way the defense is, where they're playing. I think that there's way more than that.
Yeah, I think there's just like a general reluctance for people to buy into the Lakers. Just like there were so many people talking so much smack early on in the season when it started 2 for 10 that they can't go from that to then picking them against the reigning champs. So they're just I feel like a lot of it's just people sticking to their guns. And the one person we didn't want to pick the Lakers, Charles Barkley, picked the Lakers. So that kind of hurt on that one.
Lakers have been the best team so far. Out of the past 18 games, we are 14-4. So in the NBA, we'd be ranked first place right now if we went off of that 18 game. So we have key matchups. Kerr versus Ham. Kerr, ever that chess player, good with the rotations, good with the X's and O's, lots of screens, lots of reverse screens, picks. Ham, he's still rookie coach, has lots of bumps and potholes along the road, but he's learning on the fly. He's been doing all right, decent job, I would say, in the playoffs so far. What do you guys think about Kerr versus Ham?
Well, there's been a game or two where you see Ham's inexperience in the playoffs and postseason, with rotations and minutes probably, and certain plays or certain timeouts not being called in certain time of the game. Obviously, if you go head matchup, Kerr versus Ham, it goes to Kerr. He's experienced. He's been there so many times before. He in the finals. I don't know how many times. He has 4 championships, right? So it's going to show some games here and there, but I think with having LeBron as the player coach on the court, helping Ham in those situations is going to help out a bit. But again, if we're just going by coaching wise, the edge will have to go to Kerr.
Yeah, I'm in total agreement. I think the edge definitely goes to Kerr just by nature of history. Like they're just experienced as head coaches and still rookie head coach. I do think the last game 6 showed some promise for Darvin. He finally condensed on rotation. We didn't see Malik Beasley getting minutes. We didn't see Troy Brown Jr. getting minutes, who I think could potentially get minutes this series, but last series it just wasn't for him. So that showed some promise, and I think that this is definitely a matchup where coaching is going to play probably the biggest factor. The Lakers have a lot of different looks they can throw at the Warriors, and it's really just kind of up to Darvin Ham to execute those looks.
Right. So, I mean, with Ham, being a rookie head coach, he's had a lot of criticism over his rotations, his X's and O's. And do you guys think that Ham kind of likes to stick with his starters? Do you think he's used to a certain set of minutes for his starters and his rotations, kind of like that old school feel? Or do you feel like he likes to ride the hot hand, or he actually plays the statistics based on what his players achieve?
Well, I don't know if it's the hot hand because he's been putting Beasley in there, right? And he's been cold for a while, if you ask me. And I get it. I think maybe Ham wanted to get him going because, we brought Beasley in to shoot threes, right? And shooting wise, Lakers cannot compete with Golden State Warriors, right? They have too many shooters on the team. So he was probably hoping, especially in the previous series, if you give Beasley some minutes, he might catch on fire. He might get some momentum going, get some confidence going in his shooting game to kind of somewhat offset the shooting that they're going to face this series. I think Ham's been going with a 9-man rotation mostly. And obviously, he put in a second squad in game 6 with that 40-point lead. They're just killing Memphis Grizzlies. I do think we'll see different rotations this series, only because you're gonna need someone to just guard Curry, chase him around the entire game. Curry doesn't stop; he just runs around the entire game, gets tire people out. I think Matthew Dellavedova, he said he almost died, or so someone mentioned his teammate, he almost died guarding Curry because he doesn't stop. So there's gonna be a lot of looks, and I think there'll be different rotations that Ham's gonna put in, and it might be another 9-man rotation, but maybe different players.
Yeah, for sure. Is there an echo on my end?
I don't hear it right now.
Okay. Just on me then. Yeah, I think rotation wise, it's going to be huge for him to figure out quickly in the series the right rotations to go to. I think we'll know pretty quick. Like, if he does get Beasley minutes, I think we'll know fast if Beasley shouldn't be getting minutes, stuff like that. Like, who he should be putting on Curry. I think they're going to start with Vando. In fact, as I'm saying this, they came out with the starting lineups, and it's both teams are keeping it the same. For us, we got D'Lo, Reeves, Braun, Vando, AD, Warriors, Curry, Clay, Wiggins, Draymond, and Poole. So same starting lineups for both sides, and so I think Cam's going to be pivotal that not just with the starting lineups, but I think in the non-Curry and Draymond minutes, you really need to dominate because that's when without like one of those two, either the offense or their defense tanks. So you really need to have some impact in those minutes when they're off the floor.
Hey, you never know. We could have a blowout like our game 6, and LeBron and AD only need to play around 30 minutes or so.
Right? I'll shoot a three. Can't be as bad as Beasley.
Yeah, we're hoping Ham learns, he's a fast learner, adjusts on the fly, and will be able to adjust his rotations. But seeing like those 10 to 12 minutes of Beasley or Troy playing, it makes me cringe sometimes.
Yeah. Especially without the timeouts as well. He's been bad at calling timeouts when they've been needed.
Yep.
So, dark horse for this game. Who do you guys got?
That's tough. I think for this series and this game, you know what? I'm just gonna say if D'Angelo Russell goes off, that'd be great. I mean, if he's that third scorer, even could be the second leading scorer of this game, it takes the pressure off LeBron and AD to get need to get 30, 35 to win this game. That'd be huge, and that'd be a nice dark horse because you don't know what you're gonna get with D'Lo, right? You know if you're gonna get that 11-point game or less than 10 or a 17 or a 31. You don't know if he's going to hit these threes. Well, we all seen he hasn't hit a three in the first half, and I don't know how long. All his threes come in the second half. So I'm hoping the ice is in his veins still, especially coming from last series. So for my dark horse to like make an impact here and stuff like that, I'd be D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah, I think that's a great pick. My main pick would be Darvin Ham, but to pick a player, I'm gonna go with Dennis Schroeder. I think that his role off the bench, both in providing a scoring punch as well as he's gonna come in, he's gonna guard Curry, what like and forever was guarding him previously, so that's gonna be huge. I think his ability to stay with Curry and kind of like trail him on screens just because of his quickness. I think it could be huge, especially if they start Vando on him, which I think they will, because it's just you're throwing different looks. You go from a 6'9" lanky guy in Vando on Curry to a 6'1" short and quick guy in Dennis Schroeder. The different looks, I'm hoping, really throws Curry off his game.
Yeah, all good picks. D'Lo, yeah, he needs to go off for us to win this game. Like I said last
Dark
game,
horse, all right.
he's banned from taking any 3-pointers during that first half. It's not allowed. Only 2-pointers. He can take them during the second half all he wants. But I was going between, I would say, LeBron and AD kind of taking turns. One's on game, one's off game, one's on game, one's off game. But I was also going to go with AR, but Dan picked him because I'm hoping he has some I am him games during this series.
I mean, all are.
I guess my dark horse would have to go to Rui Hachimura. I mean, he's been a great defender this previous series. I like his length. I like his athleticism. I like him grabbing a lot more rebounds. He's not really settling for that mid-range jumper like he did a lot in Washington. But I'm hoping, he hits some big threes throughout the series and has some big defensive players. So I would be going with Rui. So Steph, last game, 50-point game. He went off. It's always impossible to guard Stephen Curry. He's legendary. He's probably the best point guard of the NBA during this era. We're not going to be able to guard him, but Vando, Austin, and Dennis Schroeder will have to do their best job staying in front of him as much as possible. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, it's going to be so much work, right? They're gonna be tired by the end of this series, no doubt about it. Honestly, when it comes to the Warriors and a great shooting team like them, for the Lakers, their defense, they need to go above the screen. Many times they went up below the screen. The Memphis Grizzlies. I know they're not as a great shooting team, I think, as Golden State Warriors, obviously. But when they did that, like John Morant, they went under the screen to stop the drive. He was hitting his threes. Now, if you go under the screen on Curry, guess what? It's lights out. He's making that every time. You either have to switch quickly, or you go over the screen to just contest that shot, right? And make sure you shoot a three. It's always contested, right? That's gonna be the difference maker, honestly. And for Vando, should be easier. He's a lanky guy. Schroeder's athletic, quick, should be able to keep up with Curry, and then I think Reeves is gonna bother him. He's gonna annoy him. I think. I just hope he annoys him the entire series. But I think Key is going above the screen in this series.
Yeah, and thankfully Vando is good at not only doing that, but he's good at selling contact on moving screens. The Warriors set a ton of moving screens between Draymond and Looney just all game long. So if we can get some fouls on those guys and potentially take them out the game, it's just going to make it harder for Curry to find those dribble handoff looks and just make it just tougher in general for them to generate the threes he likes to take.
Yeah, all great points. I mean, both Draymond and Looney, they set those aggressive moving screens. And, the refs, I don't ask them to be in favor of the Lakers every game, but at least be consistent, right? It's like if you call a foul on one side, you better be calling that same foul on the other side. So, yeah, those aggressive screens are a problem. Beasley, I mean, the positive thing I see for Beasley is that every time they played Golden State, they are aggressively guarding Beasley. So they're sticking on him like white on rice, So that's great for our space and play kind of style. But he better be hitting those threes because at the end of the day, if he's not hitting those threes, it's going to be hard to play him. If he goes 0 for 3, 0 for 5.
You can't have him and Vando on the court. That's there's no offense. Exactly.
But I do feel like because Vando and Bees are used to playing each other, and that's kind of the way you need to play Vando with that shooter. So they kind of they pick and roll. They pick and roll for each other, and then they either pick and pop or he passes him when he drives, and that's usually a good two-man game. So I'm kind of sad that Ham doesn't use Vando like that in the offensive schemes.
Yeah, that's been one of my biggest things. Like you look at this current Heat series with the Knicks, they've used Bam in the corner at times on offense, and they would just as when somebody would drive and kick to Bam because his man would help, Bam would immediately run a dribble handoff for an open corner three to whoever the guard was on the wing, and that would if we ran that with Vandal and Beasley like that it would solve Vando's issues on offense and it would get Beasley open corner threes at the same time. But we just haven't seen it implemented, and I honestly don't think we will. This Ham is just, I think, too inexperienced at this point to put that. I think we'd have seen it by now if he planned to put stuff like that in.
So that leaves Anthony Davis versus Kevon Looney matchup. AD cannot be hot one game and cold the next game. He needs to be that defensive presence every single game. But not just the defensive presence. If he's an all-star, he has to be scoring too. 20, 30 points is at a minimum, right? With his at least 4 or 5 blocks, that's a must for AD.
Yeah, obviously AD. I think AD would bring you on defense. I think he's showed how dominant he is on defense. His blocks are amazing, obviously, and he has a huge impact on the game defensively with the rebounds as well. What I'm a little nervous about is the offense, right? We've seen the inconsistency with AD. Guy's so big, but he fades away when he takes a shot. Memphis was small, and then AD could have just dominated the block, turned around and slam on somebody, face the basket. He was kind of fading away, taking these jump shots here and there. Yeah, he has good dunks, alley-oops, but Looney's bigger. He's a bigger guy. This ain't no Memphis Grizzlies team, right? So I'm curious to see how AD does on offense against a bigger opponent, a bigger defensive guy, to be guarding him. I hope he plays like an MVP Anthony Davis and not, be the AD always disappointing, right? Because we're going to need AD to win this series no matter what. It's obvious. So that's what I think.
Yeah, for sure. We know his defensive impact. That game 7 of the Warriors against the Kings, Curry got the freest layups probably of his entire career because they just have nobody protect the paint. It's not going to work against us. So, I'm expecting that to be shut down at least. But yeah, like you said, it's all offense with AD. Like Looney has size to him. AD isn't going to bully Looney like he could have bullied some of the other like Memphis bigs. It's going to be, I think, it's going to be on D'Lo and Reeves to put Looney in a lot of pick and roll actions and hopefully get Looney off of AD, and then that's when they can really get some good looks.
So right, we're hoping that AD has that aggression, right? Because sometimes it seems like he mimics LeBron's kind of look. He has that like look about him, and then he's gonna go off. He has these like huge dunks, and he's like aggressive. He's actually going for every single ball. But I'm hoping that's what we get from AD.
Well, yeah. I mean, you bring
Looney,
up a good point, Jay Lake. LeBron sets the tone. The Lakers follow LeBron. He is their leader, right? I know AD should be the best player on that team and getting the most points. He's 29 years old, still in his prime. He should be doing that. But LeBron sets the tone early, the whole team follows, including AD. But you kind of hope AD sets that tone early too. You hope, because I know LeBron takes some rest days, and it's obvious. We all see it. I mean, he deserves it, right? I mean, man, 38 years old, 20 years in the league, most minutes ever in the postseason. We get it. He plays off. Or okay, but then that means AD steps up. But I don't want to have to always rely on LeBron setting the tone, because then if he comes out laggy, the rest of the team's like that. So I just hope right now, game one, LeBron sets a tone so AD can follow and AD have a great game.
definitely. So yeah, that just leaves LBJ, right? The king, the goat, our all-star general. We follow him into battle. Any night he's capable of going off for 30, 40. But I really do like whenever he doesn't have to carry the scoring load, because if he's not carrying the scoring load, then basically he's that all defensive presence, right? He's that linebacker. He's the one who's going for those chase down blocks, and that's usually when I feel like LBJ's at his best.
Oh yeah, definitely. When LBJ doesn't have to score 30 points, he impacts his game in other ways, rebounds, assists, all those chase down blocks. So yeah, I mean, I expect the best out of LeBron. Like I think LeBron wants to beat Steph in this series, right? I mean, I know he's not going to probably say it out loud. He'll say it's a team effort, but let's be real. I think LeBron really wants this one. You kind of see his attitude previous series and how bad he wants it. Well, guess what? I think he really wants this series. So let's see.
Yeah, yeah, agreed. Because you go the last time that he played Curry and they didn't have Kevin Durant, it was came back from 3-1. So I think he's coming out for blood for revenge from those Kevin Durant series, and he wants it. I'm really going to be looking for his three ball to be on more so than it was in the Grizzlies series. He was, man, it was rough, not hitting anything. And I think if he's going to play a lot more of an off ball role like we saw in Game 6, which was great, we're going to need that three to be falling because he's going to have some good looks. So I think that's going to be my key to look for is that three ball for LeBron falling series.
And LBJ usually whenever he's in that zone, zero dark 30, he kind of he looks down every time he's gonna shoot a 3-pointer and then he shoots it, and that's usually whenever he goes off. But that last series, it seems like he was kind of running out of steam, running out of gas, and he was just kind of late sitting on the behind the 3-point line and not making any threes. And whenever they did toss him, he just kind of lackadaisically threw it up and didn't make it. So that kind of frustrated me as well.
Yeah. Dude, you know what I love about LeBron with his threes? I don't mind him taking threes. Yes, he's improved in his career, obviously his shooting, but he's not the best 3-point shooter. But what I don't like is LeBron falls in love with the three. He falls in love with it. And hey, when I play ball in the park and you hit a couple threes, you fall in love with it too. I get it. I get it. It's a great feeling. But he's the best driver in the game. There's no one can stop him. When he drives to the basket, no one's stopping LeBron James. Okay? Get the foul, get the and one. Okay, make that free throw. So I expect him to do more of that, and then hit some threes as well. I don't want him to fall in love with three. I don't want to see 3 in a row misses threes this series. That's just me. I don't want to see that. If he misses 2 in a row, hey, drive to the basket. Okay, now shoot a three again if you do that, right? So I don't want to see him fall in love with the three. I don't want to see it because you're not gonna match with the Warriors. So just drive to the basket, get the N1. Okay, if it's the end of the game, I have to just give the ball to LeBron, right? As there's no choice about it. I'm willing to die on that hill. You give it to your best player, and LeBron will make the right decision too. So I don't mind. I've issued the 3 in the end of the game. Whatever, I'll live and die by that. But if he start during the game, it's like second quarter, third quarter, and he's just missing threes. Like, bro, settle down, drive it, and then maybe a few minutes later try again. I get it, but don't be falling in love with those threes. And at the end of the game, I feel LeBron, but he'll make the right decision. We've seen it time and time again. He makes the right decision at the end of the games, whether him taking it or him dishing out to the corner, for a Dennis Schroeder 3 type of thing, right? So yeah, I trust him.
I hope most of his threes are catch and shoot rather than him dribbling the shot clock a bit and then pulling up. Like if D'Lo's driving and hits an open LeBron with a good shot from 3, want him to pull it every time. Same with Reeves or Dennis. If anybody's generating a shot for him, those are the threes I want him to take more so than the dribble, and then step back, pull up threes.
Yeah, I feel like if we have a scoring drought and we need a bully ball basket, then I'm giving it to LeBron. But if it's the 3 we need, I'm not giving it to him. First half, I would probably give it to Rui. He's been pretty hot in usually our first half. Second half, I would give it to D'Lo. Overall, kind of a average 3-point shooter, I would probably give it to Austin Reeves.
Yep.
The savior.
I'm him. And so let's end it off with our predictions. So game 1, what do you guys got? This series.
I think Lakers steal game 1. I think they still won on the road, and I think this is the game to do it. Only because the Warriors come off, game 7. They're probably a little tired. It was a day rest. I can't remember. Is it 2 days rest? The Lakers are fresh, right? They have quite a few days of rest. Just winning game 6. So I say tonight's game, Lakers take it. They still won one road, but I can see the series easily 6, 7, probably 7 games. To be honest, I want it done in 6, but I could definitely see it going to 7. Especially when so much TV revenue on this series, right? So much money is just generating in this series. I don't know, so I could definitely see it going to 7 games.
So wait, on the air,
and Lakers
on the
win.
record, do you got 6 or 7?
I'm gonna say 6.
All right.
I'm gonna say 6 Lakers. That's me.
So I think they steal the night for the same reasons. They're got more rest. Warriors coming fresh off of game 7 against a high-paced team, so they're running a lot. So I think Lakers are going to take it tonight. I think probably going to drop game 2, but I think we're going to win it in 6.
Yes, so I pretty much agree, but I feel like it's going to go to game 7. I don't want it to go to game 7, but I feel like it will. I feel like it's going to take the same exact route as what we did against the Grizzlies, because we're going to win game 1, probably drop game 2, then we're going to win game 3, then probably drop game 4, then we're going to win game 6, but then probably drop another game after that. So I feel like it's going to be 3-3, and we're going to take it in 7. All right, Lakers fam, you heard it here first on the Lake Show. If you liked or agree with what we said, please leave your comments down below, and we will see you after the next game. Thank you guys again for coming on. Appreciate your time.
Yeah. Thanks, Jay Lake.
Thanks for having me.